This is a demonstration on sewing the casing part of your dress. The first thing you're going to do, this is my dress and this is the bottom hem. This is the sewn part of the pillowcase. This is the top part that you've cut off. First thing you're going to do is start kind of what you do for a rolled hem. I'm just going to kind of open this little tube of fabric up so I can work with this. And you are going to fold in the edge of the raw edge that we've cut off about 3/8 of an inch, and I don't know if I'll be able to come into focus here, but your inch has 8 sections on it, and you're going to slide the blue slidey thing at the 3rd section. That is 3/8 of an inch. You're going to fold over your fabric to the inside about 3/8 of an inch and press. Once you kind of see how much that is, you can kind of just eyeball that. We're just folding this into the inside of our pillow, and then each time you can kind of just rotate your dress and kind of again get it started, fold it to the inside about 3/8 of an inch, and then press that down all the way around the circle. Alright, I'm just finishing pressing in my last 3/8 of an inch of the top of my dress. And the purpose of doing that is kind of like our rolled hem. We're just kind of going to fold this over into the casing to get rid of this raw edge here. So you are going to fold your casing over about 6/8 of an inch. So again, I'm rolling towards the inside of my dress. I have set this elastic at about 6/8 of an inch. The tube that we are creating of your casing is so that we can fit our elastic in here and be able to thread that through the tube that we are creating. Okay, so about 6 to 7/8 of an inch is going to work. Fold that over and pin. Alright, and I just work in sections and kind of just rotate my bag or my dress as I go, and you'll have your seam gauge and use it every time, and you'll kind of fold it over, hold with your fingers, and pin that fold down. Alright, again, we are making the casing part of our dress, and we are creating a tube to thread our elastic in. I'm working my way, just kind of rotating my bag all the way around, because you are doing this all the way around the circle, measuring 6/8 of an inch and pinning in place. Alright, you're going to continue that all the way around your top of your dress. Alright, you're pinning all the way around your circle, your tube of fabric, and now you are going to put a stitch really close to that fold that you created, just like you guys did with your rolled hem. Here's a little bit closer view. Again, you're just going to put a stitch really close to this edge of fabric of the fold that you sewed. You're going to sew, backstitch, sew all the way around the circle, and backstitch where you started, one continuous long stitch, creating a tube of fabric right here. Alright, the first thing we need to do is mark where we're going to leave an opening. And I would do close to a side so we won't see that. But I'll start where this pin is, so I'm going to put my machine in here. I'm going to sew, backstitch, sew all the way around the circle, and then I need a stopping point because you need to leave a spot open for your elastic. So I'm going to put a pin in kind of in what I call a railroad tracks. At a railroad track, you stop, okay, for the train. So we're gonna stop at our railroad crossing right here. So I'm gonna put in right here, I'm gonna sew, backstitch, and I'm gonna sew all the way around the circle, and then I've put a little X of pins right here. This is like kind of about a 2-inch opening that I'm gonna create. So once I get to the railroads, I'm gonna backstitch. Again, one long continuous stitch all the way around my bag, starting here and backstitching and ending here and backstitching. All right, so you're gonna load your machine with your fabric going off to the left side. You are laying just a single layer of the fabric. Here's the other part of my tubing over here. You are going to lay this at your railroad, and I have placed it, I'm sewing as close to this fold as I can, so I'm kind of using this toe as my guide. You're gonna sew, backstitch, and sew all the way around this line. As you sew, you're going to come down here and you're just going to kind of rotate your bag out. Keep everything off to the left and keep this nice and flat so that you don't have anything getting caught up here and sewing it to each other. A circle, a tube is hard to sew. You just have to make sure that you have a nice flat fabric and that you're rotating your bag as you sew. Alright, you can see here where I started, I backstitched, I then sewed all the way around my circle close to the edge and then backstitched at my railroad crossings. This is an opening right here that we will use to thread our elastic through. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is take a piece of pre-cut elastic and you are going to put a safety pin on the end of the elastic and kind of hook it into place. You are then going to, I'm going to remove my pins, start threading the elastic through your casing, and you kind of have to work it all the way through and pull it onto the elastic. It is going to start gathering, so before you lose the tail, pin your tail to your pillowcase so that it does not go through, and you will have to start your threading of elastic all the way through again if that is the case. So pin it with a pin or pin it with a safety pin, and you can just work your casing onto your elastic all the way around the circle. Alright, so I've got my elastic all the way through, and you don't want to twist them, but you can take this off and pull both ends all the way through, and so that it lays flat in your casing, you want to make sure that they are running so they're not twisted when they're going to be laying flat in here. Okay, so it's going to be laying like that inside. You are then going to go to the sewing machine and sew, backstitch, sew, backstitch, sew, backstitch, basically sewing this elastic together. I am going to pretend like I have sewn that elastic and just put a pin in it so I can show you that you will then put the elastic inside the casing, and then you will go and put this in your machine right here, and you will sew, backstitch, sew to here, and backstitch, closing up your hole, and you will distribute the fabric amongst the elastic, okay? And you will have elastic around the top part of your dress. KP out.